I got a dental bill for $11,500 for procedures I never had. 4 root canals, 6 crowns, 3 deep cleanings, 2 gum grafts, 4 fillings, 19 procedures total, billed to my insurance over 6 months. The problem, I'd only been to that dentist twice. 4 regular cleanings, no pain, no cavities, no procedures. And when I actually counted, the bill claimed work on 32 teeth. I only have 28. I had my wisdom teeth removed in college. But Dr. Richard Hendricks of Bright Smile Dental apparently performed root canals on teeth I don't have, and billed my insurance $11,500 for phantom procedures while I sat in his chair getting my teeth cleaned twice. Okay, let me back up. My name is Jordan. I'm 33 years old. I'm a high school history teacher, which means I spend 9 months a year explaining to teenagers why the past matters while making $48,000 a year and using my summers to recover from burnout. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I have decent dental insurance through my school district. Delta Dental covers 80% of most procedures after deductible. I've always been good about dental care. I brush twice a day, floss most nights, go for cleanings every 6 months like you're supposed to. I've had maybe 3 cavities in my entire life. My teeth are fine, not perfect, not celebrity veneers, just normal functional teeth that don't cause problems. Last January my usual dentist retired, Dr. Patterson. He'd been my dentist for 8 years. Good guy, gentle, never pushed unnecessary work. He sold his practice to someone new. I got a letter in the mail. Dr. Patterson has retired. Your dental records have been transferred to Dr. Richard Hendricks at Bright Smile Dental. We look forward to continuing your care. Fine, whatever. Dentists retire. I needed a cleaning anyway. I called and made an appointment for February. Bright Smile Dental was in the same building as Dr. Patterson's old office. Same waiting room. Same magazines from 2019. But the staff was different. New receptionist. New hygienist. Everything felt more corporate, less personal. I filled out the standard forms. Medical history, insurance information. Signed the consent forms without reading them because who actually reads dental consent forms? The hygienist brought me back. Her name was Ashley, early 20s. Friendly enough. She took x-rays, cleaned my teeth, said everything looked good. No cavities. Gums looked healthy. Standard cleaning. Then Dr. Hendricks came in, mid-40s, expensive-looking watch, perfectly white veneers. He had that aggressive handshake energy, like he was selling me a timeshare, not checking my molars. He looked at my x-rays on the computer screen, clicked around, made thoughtful humming noises. So Jordan, when was the last time you had a comprehensive exam? 6 months ago? With Dr. Patterson. I'm seeing some areas of concern here. My stomach dropped. Areas of concern. The phrase every patient dreads. What kind of concerns? He pointed at the screen. See this? This shadow here on your lower left second molar? That's decay. Pretty deep. You're going to need a root canal and crown. I looked at the x-ray. I'm not a dentist. It looked like a tooth. Gray and white shapes that could mean anything. I don't have any pain there. Pain isn't always the first symptom. By the time you feel pain, the decays often progress to the nerve. We should address this now before it becomes an emergency. How much does that cost? With your insurance, you'd pay about $600 out of pocket. Total procedure is around $3,000 for a tooth that didn't hurt, that I didn't know was a problem until 5 minutes ago. Can I think about it? Of course, but I wouldn't wait too long. Decay doesn't improve on its own. He pointed out 3 other areas of concern. Different teeth, all needing fillings or crowns or deep cleanings. By the time he finished, I was looking at potentially $8,000 in dental work. I left feeling anxious and confused. Dr. Patterson had never found this many problems. Were these new? Had he missed them? Was this new dentist just more thorough? I didn't schedule anything. I wanted to think about it, maybe get a second opinion. 2 weeks later I got a call from Bright Smile Dental. Ashley the hygienist. Jordan, we haven't seen you back to schedule your treatment. Dr. Hendricks wanted me to follow up. We really recommend getting that root canal done soon. I'm still thinking about it. We have an opening next week if you want to get it taken care of before it becomes an emergency. I'll call back if I decide to do it. She called again 2 weeks later. Same script. Getting the root canal done before it became an emergency. I stopped answering calls from that number. Then my insurance company sent me an explanation of benefits. Standard EOB form. I get them whenever I have medical or dental work done. Usually I glance at them and throw them away. This one was different. It listed 9 procedures. From my February cleaning appointment. Wait, 9 procedures? I'd had a cleaning. That's one procedure. I read through the list. Comprehensive oral evaluation, $180. Full mouth x-rays, $150. Prophylaxis cleaning, $120. Okay, those 3 made sense. Exam, x-rays, cleaning, standard appointment. But then, deep cleaning lower right quadrant, $350. Deep cleaning lower left quadrant, $350. Fluoride treatment, $75. Periodontal maintenance, $200. Oral cancer screening, $85. Desensitizing treatment, $90. Total billed to insurance, $1,600. I'd had a regular cleaning. That's it. No deep cleaning. No fluoride treatment. No cancer screening. Just a normal cleaning that should have cost maybe $300 total. I called Delta Dental. Explained I'd only had a cleaning but the dentist billed for 9 procedures. The insurance rep sounded bored. Do you have documentation that you didn't receive these services? I was there. I know what happened. The provider submitted claims for these procedures. Without documentation proving they weren't performed, we have to process the claims as submitted. So he can just bill for whatever he wants. You can file a dispute. You'll need to provide evidence that the procedures weren't done. How do you prove something didn't happen? I didn't have video of my appointment. I just had my memory and a strong sense that I'd been scammed. I let it go. It was insurance money, not mine. And I was busy with school, but I filed it away in my head. This dentist was shady. 3 months later, I got another postcard. It's time for your 6-month cleaning. Call to schedule with Dr. Hendricks. I ignored it. I wasn't going back there. Then I got a call. Ashley again. Jordan, you're due for your cleaning. We have availability next week. I'm going to find a different dentist. Oh, can I ask why? Was there a problem with your last visit? I got billed for procedures I didn't have. That must be a billing error. I can have our billing department look into it. It's fine. I'm just going elsewhere. Dr. Hendricks really wants to see you for that root canal. The decay's probably progressed by now. I'll handle it with another dentist. I hung up. Found a new dentist through a coworker's recommendation. Dr. Lisa Friedman. Independent practice. Good reviews. I went in for a cleaning in June. Told the hygienist up front. My previous dentist said I needed a root canal and a bunch of other work. Can you take a look? They did a full exam. New x-rays. Dr. Friedman spent 20 minutes going over everything. Your teeth look great. Nodica. No need for any root canals. Whoever told you that was either looking at someone else's x-rays or lying. Seriously. You've got one small area of demineralization on an upper molar. We can watch it. Maybe do a fluoride treatment if you want to be proactive. But no cavities. Definitely no root canals. Relief. Anger. Confusion. All at once. Why would a dentist lie about that? Dr. Friedman shrugged. Financial incentive. Root canals are expensive. Some dentists oversell treatment. It's unfortunately common. I left with a clean bill of dental health and a growing suspicion that Dr. Hendricks was running a scam. 2 months later, August, I got another EOB from Delta Dental for an appointment in July. I hadn't been to Bright Smile Dental since February. This was 5 months later. Why was I getting an EOB? I opened it. Root canal therapy. Tooth number 18, $1,200. Build-up. Tooth number 18, $300. Crown. Tooth number 18, $1,500. Total, $3,000. Billed in July. For procedures I never had. On a tooth that didn't need a root canal according to Dr. Friedman. I called Delta Dental immediately. I'm looking at an EOB for procedures I didn't have. Which procedures? Root canal and crown. Billed in July. I wasn't even at that dental office in July. The claim shows the service date as July 15th. The provider submitted it with X-rays and procedure notes. I wasn't there on July 15th. I was at work. I can prove it. You'll need to file a formal fraud complaint. They sent me the forms. I filled them out. Submitted evidence. My work attendance records showing I was teaching summer school on July 15th. A statement from Dr. Friedman saying I didn't need a root canal. Delta Dental investigated. Called me back 3 weeks later. We've reviewed your complaint. We contacted the provider. They claim you were there for the procedure but left before completion, and they billed for the work that was started. That's a lie. I wasn't there. I have proof. They're maintaining the claim is accurate. We're going to need more evidence to deny it. What kind of evidence? Ideally, something showing you were somewhere else at the exact time of the appointment. I dug through everything. Found a photo I'd posted on Instagram on July 15th. Timestamp showed 1:30 p.m. The claimed appointment time. I was at a coffee shop near school. Nowhere near the dentist. Sent it to Delta Dental. They reviewed it again. Finally denied the claim. But I started wondering, if he billed me for fake procedures, how many other patients was he doing this to? I filed a complaint with the Arizona State Board of Dental Examiners. Detailed everything. The overbilling at my first appointment. The phantom root canal in July. Attached all my documentation. I also left a Google review. 1 star. This dentist billed my insurance for a root canal I never had. I wasn't even at his office on the date he claimed. Filed fraud complaint with insurance and state board. Avoid. 3 days later Dr. Hendricks' office called me. Not Ashley. A man who identified himself as the practice manager. Mr. Jordan, we're calling about your Google review. You're making false accusations that could damage Dr. Hendricks' reputation. They're not false. He billed for procedures I didn't have. There was clearly a misunderstanding. We'd like to offer you a full refund of any out-of-pocket costs and a complimentary cleaning to resolve this. I didn't pay any out-of-pocket costs because I didn't have the procedures, and I'm not taking down the review. We could pursue legal action for defamation. Truth is a defense to defamation. Sue me if you want. I have documentation. He hung up. The Arizona State Board investigation took 4 months. They subpoenaed Dr. Hendricks' billing records, patient files, appointment schedules. What they found was systematic fraud. Dr. Hendricks had been billing insurance companies for procedures that were never performed on dozens of patients. Root canals, crowns, deep cleanings, gum grafts. He'd take X-rays during routine cleanings, then bill for extensive treatment that never happened. The investigator called me. Your complaint opened this up. We found 43 patients with similar patterns. Billed for procedures with no corresponding appointment records. Total fraudulent billing. Approximately $470,000 over 18 months. $470,000. From phantom dental work. What happens now? We're referring it to the Arizona Attorney General for criminal prosecution. Dr. Hendricks' license is suspended pending the outcome. The Attorney General filed charges. 15 counts of healthcare fraud. 28 counts of insurance fraud. Theft. Forgery for the fake procedure notes. It made local news. Phoenix dentist charged with $500,000 fraud scheme. The story detailed how Dr. Hendricks would perform routine cleanings but bill insurance for root canals, crowns, and other expensive procedures. Most patients never knew because insurance paid and they didn't check their EOBs carefully. I got contacted by a reporter, did an interview, told my story. The piece aired and my phone started ringing. Other patients who'd seen the news. I think he did this to me too. My EOB showed procedures I don't remember having. He told me I needed 6 crowns but I got a second opinion and needed none. A class action lawsuit formed. 47 patients. I joined. We sued Dr. Hendricks and Bright Smile Dental for fraud, breach of contract, and emotional distress. The criminal trial happened first, March of the following year. I testified, told the jury about the February appointment where I got a cleaning but was billed for 9 procedures. The July root canal that happened while I was provably somewhere else. The fake diagnosis of decay that didn't exist. Other patients testified. A woman who was billed for 4 root canals over 6 months. She'd only been in for cleanings. A man who got an EOB for a crown on a tooth he'd had extracted years earlier. The practice had billed for a crown on a tooth he didn't have. The evidence was overwhelming. Fake procedure notes, appointment schedules that didn't match billing records, X-rays submitted to insurance that belonged to different patients. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Dr. Hendricks got sentenced to 6 years in state prison, ordered to pay $470,000 in restitution to insurance companies, lost his dental license permanently. The civil case settled. Bright Smile Dental's malpractice insurance paid out. Each of the 47 plaintiffs got between $8,000 and $35,000 depending on how much fraud we could prove. I got $12,000. Not life-changing money but something. I used it to pay off my car loan. Dr. Hendricks is currently in Perryville State Prison. He'll be eligible for parole in 4 years. His dental license is revoked. He can never practice dentistry again in any state. Bright Smile Dental closed. The building's still empty. Sometimes I drive by it. The sign's still up but faded. Windows are dark. I still go to Dr. Friedman for cleanings. I'm obsessive about checking my EOBs now. Every single one. I compare them to my actual appointments. Make sure the procedures listed match what actually happened. I think about the scam a lot. How simple it was. How many patients never noticed. You go in for a cleaning. You leave. 2 weeks later insurance gets a bill for a root canal. Insurance pays it. Patient never knows. Perfect crime. Until someone actually checks. Most people don't check their EOBs. They're confusing. Full of codes and jargon. You see insurance paid and you move on. Dr. Hendricks counted on that. He was right for 18 months and $470,000. He got away with it until one high school teacher with trust issues actually read the fine print. I wonder how long he'd planned to run the scheme. Was he going to do it for a few years, then retire rich? Or did he think he'd never get caught? The investigator told me most healthcare fraud goes undetected. Billions of dollars a year. Dentists billing for procedures they don't do. Doctors upcoding visits. Pharmacies billing for prescriptions never filled. It's everywhere. And it works because the victim isn't really the patient. It's the insurance company. And insurance companies process millions of claims. They can't verify every single one. They rely on trust. Providers say they did the work. Insurance pays. Until someone like me checks, questions, pushes back. I got 43 other people their money back. Got a fraudster sent to prison. Got his license revoked so he can't do this to anyone else. That feels good. Better than the $12,000. This is a Pulse Stories original. If you've ever been billed for medical or dental procedures you didn't have, check your explanation of benefits. Every single one. Compare them to what actually happened. If something doesn't match, file a complaint. You might be the person who stops a fraud scheme. Subscribe for more stories of people who read the fine print and caught fraudsters. Because sometimes your dentist will bill insurance for a root canal on a tooth you don't have. And sometimes you're the one patient who actually notices and brings down a $500,000 fraud operation. Dr. Hendricks thought he was smarter than the system. Thought patients wouldn't check. Thought insurance wouldn't investigate. He was right about most patients. Wrong about me. I'm a high school history teacher. I make $48,000 a year. I'm not rich, not powerful, not connected, but I read my EOB, and I asked questions, and I didn't stop when they tried to shut me up. That's all it took. One person who cared enough to check. 47 patients got justice because I was annoying enough to file complaints and keep pushing. Dr. Hendricks billed me for procedures on teeth I don't have. Root canals on wisdom teeth I had removed in college. Crowns on molars that were perfectly fine. He didn't think I'd notice. Didn't think I'd care. Didn't think one patient could bring down his entire operation. He was wrong. 6 years in prison. License revoked. Practice closed. $500,000 in restitution. All because I read my insurance paperwork. The last time I saw him was at sentencing. He looked smaller, older. His expensive watch was gone. His perfect veneers looked fake under the courthouse fluorescent lights. He didn't look at me. Didn't look at any of the patients in the gallery. Just stared at the floor while the judge read his sentence. You violated the trust between healthcare provider and patient. You committed fraud for personal enrichment. You showed no remorse. 6 years. The bailiff led him away. He shuffled. Prison had already changed him. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No anger. Just relief that it was over. I went back to teaching. Back to explaining the past to teenagers who don't care. Back to my $48,000 salary and my small life. But now I'm the guy who took down a dentist. Students Google me sometimes. Find the news articles. Ask about it. Mr. Jordan, is it true you got a dentist sent to prison? I reported fraud. The legal system did the rest. That's so cool. It's not cool. It's just what you're supposed to do when someone commits a crime. But I guess most people don't. Most people pay the fake bill or ignore the weird EOB or just switch dentists and move on. I didn't. And 47 people got their money back because of it. Dr. Friedman says I should feel proud. That I saved patients from future fraud. That I made the system a little bit safer. Maybe. I mostly just feel tired. Fighting fraud is exhausting. The complaints, the documentation, the interviews, the testimony, the months of waiting for investigations. It would have been easier to just switch dentists and forget about it. But I'm a teacher. I teach kids that individuals can make a difference. That one person standing up matters. I had to practice what I preach. So I did. And it worked. And now a fraudster is in prison and patients are protected and I can go to the dentist without wondering if I'm being scammed. That's worth $12,000 and 2 years of my life spent fighting. Dr. Hendricks gets out in 4 years. He'll be 52. No dental license. Felony record. He'll probably end up doing something else. Sales maybe. Something where he can use that aggressive handshake energy. I hope he learns something. I doubt it. People like that rarely do. But at least he can't hurt patients anymore. Can't bill for phantom root canals. Can't prey on people who trust their dentist. That's enough. Has to be. I still have the original EOB. The one from February that started everything. 9 procedures for a simple cleaning. $1,600 in fraud from one appointment. I keep it in a folder with all the documentation. Court records. News articles. The settlement check stub. Proof that reading the fine print matters. That questioning authority works. That one annoyed patient can take down a fraud scheme. 47 patients. $470,000. 6 years in prison. All because I checked my mail and asked, why am I being billed for procedures I didn't have? That's the whole story. No dramatic confrontation. No movie moment. Just paperwork and complaints and persistence. Sometimes that's all it takes.